Hey listeners, this episode's coming out less than 24 hours after this show, so you should probably know, but I'm going to say right here, spoiler alert. If you have not watched The Acolyte and don't want it to be spoiled, don't listen to us talk about it. Thank you. Welcome back to Han Took Shots First. We're discussing the brand new Star Wars show, The Acolyte. I'm Derrick.
I'm Jack.
I'm Whitney.
McClunky. Yes, as we said at the top.
Sorry, it was
God.
whiskey's yummy.
Boss Nass over here.
As we said at the top, we're discussing the brand spanking new Disney Plus Star Wars show, The Acolyte.
So fresh you could spank it.
I mean, we're literally recording this 2 hours and 5 minutes after it came out.
Yeah. Unless you're
we're
one of those
awesome.
lucky content creators that gets free fucking early access.
We're content
Bullshit.
creators.
Give us early
But we're not
access.
good ones.
No, we don't get like special passes or anything.
No. We gotta act like we've been there. And then we gotta go there. And then they gotta treat us like we've been there.
Yes. So the internet can be mad at us already because we said the words The Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to share real quick before we get into it because I know there are people
Well,
who are already angry out there.
why is that a problem?
Because Star Wars fans hate Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like nobody else.
I get
And
that.
I mean, as soon as this came out, comments all over the internet like, oh, look, Disney fucked up Star Wars again. And I'm like, you saw a 35-second teaser trailer.
Did you see how many women are in this? Did you see how many black people are in this?
Did you see there are people of different heights? There's a fat Padawan. These people should be happy.
Fuck yeah. There made me question though. I'm like, does that mean that he's just not disciplined enough, or?
Maybe it's
He
his
has a
species.
thyroid problem.
But, I mean, like, because there is a no judgment thing with the Jedi, but there is still like a hey, come on, guy, come on.
But I wanted to tell you, the listeners, and you, Whitney, something I just showed Jack. I saw an ad for The Acolyte the other day on Facebook, and there was one of the first comments was somebody saying, offended and frightened white Gen X and millennial men comments in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it was immediately followed by a comment of a white Gen X or millennial man saying, can't wait to see this fail.
Like, dude, if you are a Star Wars fan, which obviously they are, they're just bad ones. Like, why are you rooting for it to fail? If it fails, it fails. But wouldn't you be like, man, I hope that they prove me wrong. I hope that, because these are the guys that don't want to see a lot of girls in there and women in my Star Wars.
I don't understand. Like, it's because they're incels? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a woman be powerful because that means they can be powerful in real life, and that means that I'd be less powerful.
Well, guess
is
what?
the-
You are less powerful.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
what was the thing Kathleen Kennedy just said? And I'm not a fan of Kathleen Kennedy.
Neither am I,
Put
but
that
not
right out
because
there.
she's a woman, because of her body of work.
But she just said,
What's wrong with
every
her
female
body?
She, it's in the eye of the beholder. She had said like every female Star Wars actress or personality has to deal with male toxic masculinity.
Yes.
yeah.
And she's not wrong. I mean, everyone can get up there and be like, "Oh no, it's because it's bad Star Wars." The way you attack these actresses is absurd.
Yeah, because Jack did the same thing I did when we both saw that article. Comments.
Yep.
And it was immediately like just filled with hateful comments about women and wokeness and this and that. And it's
Princess
just like,
Leia didn't have a bunch of toxic male masculinity. First of all, she probably did. The internet wasn't around.
Yeah.
yeah.
And second of all, dude, because she was a honeypot. That's exactly what the men wanted from her, was to be a damsel in distress that can take care of herself a little bit, but ultimately needed rescuing.
yeah, like Jack said, if Rey was running around in the gold bikini in the sequel movies, these guys wouldn't be saying anything.
Oh man,
Probably.
I love her character development. She lost those robes and got a gold bra. I mean,
her
man.
character development between that first movie and that third movie, I mean, 4 cup sizes.
Whoever decided to give her a breast implant, wonderful.
It's fucking ridiculous. But that's not what we're here to talk
So
about.
they're all
We're
going to
here.
die in like roughly 20, 30 years, right?
Oh, how
I
long?
mean, it depends on how old they are. Are they 20? Then yeah. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Fuck those people. We're here to celebrate Star Wars and then discuss this and see what we thought of it.
Enjoy the Star Wars you're given.
Yes.
That's what I try
It's
and
what
do
you're getting.
every time. Yeah. Like, why be mad at it? Just try and enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I mean, all
Just
the
leave
comments are like, I don't watch Star Wars anymore. It's like, well, then stop following the page.
it. Yeah. You know, you're giving them a little bit of like publicity every time you comment a negative thing.
It just makes me want to watch it more. If it
Yeah.
pisses them off, I'm like, I'm in it.
Well, be prepared to be pissed because we're talking about episode 1, Lost/Found. Should I just say slash?
Yeah.
Lost Found.
Lost Found.
This show is run by and mostly written and directed by a woman.
What?
A woman named Leslie, I'm assuming Leslye.
Yeah, I took it
So-
as Leslie.
Leslie Headland.
Okay.
So she's directed some other stuff. She did a movie I haven't seen, but it has Jason Sudeikis and Alison Brie in it called Sleeping with Other People.
Ooh.
Sounds like a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But with
I'm
those
in.
two.
she also did 4 episodes of Russian Doll, and there are multiple actors in this from that show. That's
Yeah.
the Natasha Lyonne time travel mindfuck show.
Did
Oh,
you
I
ever
didn't
watch
know-
Rushing Doll?
No.
Oh,
it's
it's a
really
Netflix
good.
show. It's very, very good.
The
Oh, yeah, I
first
like the
season is
actress.
definitely better than the second season,
Okay.
but it's for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
the
give it a
guy,
peek.
the guy that plays Yord and the girl that plays Vernestra Rowe are both on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, like, it's hard to tell if I know her when she's
Green.
a turtle without a shell.
That's the only thing I recognize. She's been in some other stuff.
Who was
but
she in Russian Doll?
She is Natasha Lyonne's like lesbian roommate or whatever.
The best
tall
friend?
was her best friend,
Yeah.
the tall blonde one that's always hanging out with the short Asian girl.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But Vernestra Rowe is the only, from what I found online, the only character that exists before this in any High Republic.
Media.
Yeah, there we
What
go.
is she? Books?
Yeah, she's books and comics. I did start listening to a High Republic book because I had them on my listen list for Audible, and I saw that and I was like, well, I could check it out. I looked and I'm like, oh, good, she's in the first one, so I can. That's where I wanted to start, but I haven't gotten to her yet.
Gotcha.
I only got to where like something destroys like an entire solar system.
So this is all
Okay.
new for all of us, right? Like not just me being
The High Republic is the newest to me. It's
Okay.
I've done what Derrick's done or started to do. I've done a couple audiobooks. I'm trying to think of the one. I can't think of the name of the bad guys. It's so new to me. It's my least studied Star Wars.
Okay.
So, and this is also before what Acolyte is giving us, because this is 100 years before Episode 1, essentially.
Yeah, and the stuff I don't know exactly where. Light of the Jedi is the book that I'm currently listening / reading to. I don't know exactly where it takes place, but it's the beginning of the story. And so they have like a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 kind of thing. And phase 1 goes, and then phase 2 is before that. So it's not the very beginning of the Jedi,
Yeah.
but it's the Jedi are already all over the universe, but it's well before this show.
Mm.
So it has nothing to do with this. So this is, you said, like 100 years, right?
Yeah,
132-ish BBY.
Yep.
That stands for before the Battle of Yavin. Like,
Okay, thank you.
That's their BCAD.
okay.
yeah.
Is before Battle of Yavin, after Battle of Yavin.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to say, what the fuck is the Battle of Yavin?
Battle of Yavin is essentially the rebellion. Like it's
The end
The
of Return of the
clone?
Jedi.
yeah.
The Clone Wars?
No,
No,
the
no, no,
Ewoks
further.
and
Oh,
second Death
that
Star.
They're
one.
blowing up the Death Star. Like
the second
all
Death
that.
Star, right? Or the
Yep,
first?
second.
Okay, that's what I
Okay.
thought. Yeah. But yes, this is episode 1 of that. This was written and directed by her. All the episodes.
Wait a minute. Battle of Yavin might be the first Death Star.
Well, because
The second
Endor
one
is a moon,
Is the moon of Endor. It's Endor is the planet.
Oh, it's a
and
moon of Endor.
It's the moon of Endor,
Okay.
but it's also called Endor. If it
You know what? Somebody out there who's listening and already mad, feel free to correct
look,
us.
I started this with the way I start all my Star Wars with a big fat death stick. So
Like Han Took Shots First at gmail.com or Han Took Shots First Pod on Instagram and
Hey,
Facebook to let me know if what we're saying wrong. So Leslie Headland wrote and directed this episode, and she's credited as a writer on every single episode. There are other writers throughout all of it, but she's like the head. She's the showrunner.
yeah, she's showrunner. Good.
So we start on Ueda, which is a planet I don't know.
You wait a minute.
And we see pretty much right out of the gate our main character, kind of one of them,
Yeah.
Amanda Stenberg, who I recognized Whitney thought she knew her, but it's not the
It's
girl.
not who I thought it
I don't
was.
think I know her.
She was in the Hunger Games. She was Rue, if that means anything to anyone.
It doesn't.
So I remember it was this little girl. She was one of the ones that I don't remember which district she was from, but she was like 7 or 8 years old. She was a little girl.
I guess she would have been, yeah.
I know her from Bodies, 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 which I've mentioned to both of you guys before. It's a recent-ish horror movie with a bunch of sexy 20-somethings
How have I
in a
not watched
house
this?
where stuff is dying. It's a fucking intense movie, and it's got a crazy twist. It's very fun.
What a
and
twist.
she's very good in it. So Amanda Stenberg walks into a bar.
Go on. Why didn't she duck? Hey!
And Carrie Ann Moss is there, hanging out, playing Master Indara.
Carrie Ann Moss, if you don't know, is Trinity from The Matrix.
Yes. And
She looks great.
she's
She's sexy as fuck, dude.
She looks great, but this fight scene's choppy. Did you notice
It's
that?
weird.
Like, it's cut a little bit weird. Like, maybe Carrie Ann Moss isn't moving like she used to. Maybe I'm making this up, because then later, when this actress is fighting Master Soul, it looks much better. So, and no shade on Carrie Ann Moss, because I couldn't do a fight scene.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think maybe she may have been just a little out of touch with it.
Yeah, I mean, what's the last action movie she did?
I'm not sure. I mean, The Matrix.
The
The Matrix.
But the
newest
note I
one.
have about it was that her fighting style is very Matrix.
Oh, dude, she's channeling Neo.
And I mean, Soul fights like this later too. It's that like practiced Jedi fighting of like being calm, and like so it is very much like Matrix or like Neo from The Matrix fighting, or even.
I am
even
not your
Trinity and
enemy.
Stuff later, like when they're just like standing still, basically, and just moving their arms real quick and dodging and shit.
You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. I am a Jedi.
So does she recognize her as Osha or?
So I mean, I guess
We didn't start off by saying spoilers.
Yeah, let's start right here. Spoilers.
We might want to
for-
add a tag at the beginning of this, like, "Hey, dude,
But we'll
don't
say it
fucking
again.
listen."
We'll say it again right now. Spoiler alert
Spoilers
for
like
the
a
Acolyte,
motherfucker.
which I assume if you're listening to this, you watched it.
Yeah.
But we'll just get right into that because it starts out, and I'm looking up the actress, Amanda Stenberg, and I found her credited as May/Osha. I was like, well, that sucks.
This is the
'Cause
reason I stayed off the IMDb right away, because I'm like, well, what if, even if there was like a Yoda spot, like sighting at the end of this, I'm like, well, I don't want to like spoil anything,
Right.
But I mean, it comes out pretty quickly that so Osha is kind of our main character who isn't
Yes.
this one,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a twin who she thought died, and
Yeah.
that's this one. So this is May, and the other one is Osha. But we don't know that right away. We figured out pretty fucking quickly because how'd she get from this planet to a ship and back? Like,
Well, but
on her day
they're
off.
trying to set it up, because they're even like, dude, why didn't you party with us last night?
Yeah.
So they want you to be like, oh, that was her.
Yeah, but I even at that moment, because I was still thinking, I didn't know for sure if it was going to be that or like a split personality thing
Well,
or what it
because
was
she
going to
had
be.
longer hair.
But how did she get off the
Oh, I
ship?
thought that was part of her outfit.
No.
No, that's
okay.
no. They have the same length.
Nope.
hair.
The front, but May has longer.
I think we
locks
need to
on-
watch it
Oh.
again for that,
Yeah.
because I think that those they look thinner. The ones that are longer look
Yes,
thinner.
they
So
are
I'm
thinner.
thinking it barely matters.
But,
But
even,
I
even
think-
when we get to the ship though, and they're talking about why weren't you out partying with us, and she's like, "Don't ask me what I do on my day off." I was like, "But how did she get from this ship, where she's obviously like an underling,
Yeah.
to this planet and back without nobody noticing?"
I still
they
want.
got shuttles, dude.
I'm still sticking to my guns. I honestly think that Idara, right?
Indara. yeah.
Indara knew it was May.
Okay, so I think so too. I did not think that at the first reveal,
Right.
But the more that they're setting up this story for it, that the four Jedi did something kind of nefarious.
Mm-hmm.
So even during this fight, she's like, "Aren't you going to attack me?" And she's like, "The Jedi don't attack unarmed." She's like, "Yes, you do." So there, these four Jedi that did something to specifically May,
Yeah.
which we hear later that May started a fire that killed her whole family. So I'm thinking it's one of these.
We also hear that May thought Osha was
Yeah,
dead.
they each
Yes.
thought their sister
So
was
I don't
dead.
know if it was if these guys maybe made them think the other one died because they were trying to split them up because they knew May was evil.
Yes, so that was the end of my point. Was
Yeah.
I think that they were doing a preemptive, like, well, we can feel the evil inside of her. Let's just kill her and raise the twin that's as powerful but not dark.
I think the Sith had it because
We don't know if it's a Sith yet.
okay, well,
We know
it
he's
said
a-
something about the Sith in the beginning.
Oh, we didn't talk about
Oh
that.
yeah, get that
Sorry.
crawl up there. It's not. Well, sorry, it's not a crawl. It's not
No.
a crawl.
No, because this isn't a movie, a Skywalker
Uh-huh.
Saga movie.
Uh-huh.
So,
It's
100
got to be a
years.
numbered episode for it to get a crawl.
That's what we've noticed. 100 years before the rise of the Empire, it's a time of peace. The Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic have prospered for centuries without war. But in the dark corners of the galaxy, a powerful few learn to use the Force in secret. One of them, a lone assassin, risks discovery to seek revenge.
So I still think that it was
The Master.
the Master clouded him because Soul really believes that they watched her die.
Yeah.
And she really believes that, May believes she watched Osha
I'm
die.
really hoping that Soul is not, that he is as good as he pretends to be.
I really fucking hope so.
I like that
But
character. Do you remember my spinfoil theory?
No.
I had a wild wackadoo, like put your fucking tinfoil on your head, that Soul is the bad guy, but he doesn't know it. Split personality. I no longer think that is going to happen.
The only other thing I could think of is Torben had more to do with it than was let on.
Because he was very willing to die, but that's the second episode.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Strike
That's
that.
okay.
Get it out.
It's all right. We've already kind of talked about some of that
It's
stuff.
spoilers anyway.
They both came out at the same time. We watched them both.
Yeah.
We're giving you 2 separate episodes cut together.
Surprise.
But I did like during this bar fight, the aliens are puppets or costumes, because there's the one that tries to shoot her and she kicks the table at him,
Yes.
and there's the bartender with the little baby.
yeah.
And like I appreciated they were using practical things.
I like it. It looks good.
Yeah.
Did Favreau have anything on this set?
I don't think so.
No.
Not that I could find.
No.
He's busy doing whatever he's doing.
He's doing the Mandalorian movie, right?
I'm sure he's not doing that yet.
Maybe.
What would he have before that?
Well, it's not coming out for a while, like years. But I do like that May has like, so she doesn't have a lightsaber. She comes in like she's unarmed and she has these little throwing daggers.
Canoe
In Star Wars or in real life?
in real life.
Oh, okay.
It's a throwing dagger, but it's got the circle in the end of it.
So you can.
Watch Naruto, and you'll know all about it.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm not going to do
Naruto?
that.
Naruto.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But I like her little thing. She has a couple of cool little things with it. One, when she's fighting Carrie-Anne Moss, she pulls out one dagger behind her back, and Carrie-Anne Moss can see the other dagger, and she throws it at the bartender so that
Oh, yeah.
so that she's distracted and saves him, and then just fucking hucks this other dagger into her heart. And I was like, well, okay, I guess
You're
Carrie-Anne
out
Moss isn't in
just
this show.
as fast
Something
as
we
you're
called.
in.
Well, we thought she was going to die early, but I think she was going to die in the first 45 seconds of the show.
Oh no, not that early. But I was like, well, we called that. Like
And Whitney said, well, she's gone. I was like, I'm sure she'll be in flashbacks, but we haven't
Absolutely.
seen one yet.
we will get her in flashbacks because we're gonna figure out what happened.
Yeah.
We are gonna see them,
Oh,
all
yeah.
4 of them doing whatever it was. Otherwise there's no fucking reason to have Carrie-Anne Moss be here for that day.
Exactly.
That's a day.
Yeah, and you didn't have to.
That
She
was
didn't do it for
before lunch.
scale. I'll tell you that. So.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I agree. I think one of the last episodes we're gonna be in the past.
I mean, I guess that's
we're gonna
kind
see
of
what fucking
the
happens.
format of what we've seen thus far on the Disney Plus shows. Is you've got like 3 or 4 that are telling you what's going on, and then you have like a full episode of like, well, here's what happened before.
She needs some of that back to tank flashback from Book of Boba Fett. I'm just gonna lay it down in this there for a minute.
Interesting thing that I heard when I was listening to Light of the Jedi. Bacta is a new thing where I'm at in there.
Oh really?
Someone talked to, or a guy, it was an inner monologue of a guy, and he's talking about they were hauling a thing of Bacta, and it was some new thing that they were using they were trying to develop to replace something else that was a healing material.
Okay.
So that's cool.
Coda?
It was, I don't remember. I was working on some stuff on the computer and listening, so I lost
Yeah.
some details in there, but
And then, dude, those at least the ones I've read are so character heavy. Like I almost need a fucking flashcards.
I got
There's so
3
many
chapters in, and at the end of each chapter, every character they spent presumably pages introducing and giving you their entire life was dead.
Yeah. I'm like, why did I get to know these people?
Because it makes it more sad when they die.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, that's the idea.
It's just words on
That's
paper.
It
the
makes
idea
me
for
sad.
humans, for people with human emotions like me.
You do not have human emotions.
Okay, Stoneman.
I have enough for everybody in this
Yeah.
house.
Look, when it comes to books and movies, I've got plenty of human emotions.
No, you don't. You still laugh at me when I cry at something on a
No,
movie.
it's because of
You cry at the
crying.
music from a phone commercial.
I do.
I've literally watched you cry to insurance commercials.
To the first 2 beats of a
the
song.
grandpa wanted to make sure the family was going to be okay.
It's a sad country song.
He's not going to be there for his daughter's wedding.
No,
That guy can't get a boner.
you only
All right, now I'm sad.
You only get sad when it's something doing with animals or Iron Man.
Or entirely fictional science fiction characters.
There you go.
You know what always gets me strangely is robots.
Yeah, I can see that.
Rogue
Well,
One.
because they get brutal deaths because they're robots and they can.
Well, but it's also because it's like here
But you care
a
about
robot
them.
is just an unconditional friendo.
When we
Yeah.
just watched when we just watched Solo, I cried again when
Is it
L3?
KT? No, yeah.
L3.
L3
Sorry, KT's a whole different thing.
when L3 dies. Like I was just a blubbering mess.
I mean, it's I
My
get
eyes are
it.
wet right now thinking about
Oh,
it.
you're weird.
But you can see here that May has a little bit of. Well, first you see that she definitely has force powers, which Indara says. She's like, we have a force user, an unidentified force user, but you don't really see much of it until after she kills Indara because she picks that dagger up with a force pull.
You do see her using it to like grab to get up to that top balcony.
Oh, because she jumps
and I
up.
think
yeah.
that she throws some of her. Yeah, she throws some of those Kanue at Carrie Ann Moss, and she ignites the saber to cut him out of the air.
And then we see that she does have something good in her. She's doing this for revenge because when she goes down, she's going to kill this bartender
Oh yeah,
or owner of this bar.
she will kill this bartender if it helps her kill her goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't need to kill you, but it is a weakness that the Jedi have.
But then she sees him with his
little
his
babby.
wee bab, and she feels sad and she runs away. So,
Yeah.
and then we go to some ship, and it's a Trade Federation ship, and this is where we see Osha waking up, and this is where you don't know yet. She wakes up very like suddenly, so it's like
I started to think split personality kind of thing.
that's what I
I
thought.
did
at
kind of
first.
have
like I'm
that-
waking up in different. I think that's what they want you to think.
Yeah.
My other thought, because they were talking about how the Jedi live in the dream world or whatever, like they
Yeah.
have all. I was like, is she doing this in her dreams?
Some fucking badass astral projection.
Right?
I mean, because we even saw in Last Jedi, like Luke, like projects himself across an entire galaxy, but he can't actually touch anything. Or
He does hand Carrie Fisher those dice.
oh, does he?
Yep.
Okay, but that because I just remember I don't remember that. I remember that's how Kylo Ren realized he
Yes.
wasn't really there because you see his feet move and the dirt doesn't move. So
But I think that he was able to focus enough to give Princess Leia Han's fucking fuzzy dice.
okay, and then we have the new toy
Pip.
Pip.
I call it was a. It's a Pip buddy.
It's a Pip Boy.
I'm so glad I don't have a child, like a small child, because when they want this toy, I'm gonna be so annoyed.
Oh, it's gonna be like $200.
Shut the fuck up.
I thought he
The-
wanted the toy.
The droid is fine in the show,
Yeah.
but I was thinking about it as a toy and wanting to drown
Just
myself.
hearing it in every fucking corner of the house.
No, but I want this thing. Like you got it can extinguish fires, it can weld, it can pick locks, it can
mean,
she pulls the
short
top
circuit.
off to charge it, and it's kind of like a vape.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't like it.
I think it's a wonderful
Barely a
multi-tool.
fucking droid.
It's a
It's a
multi-tool.
multi-tool.
That's
And
what
I-
I was thinking of.
It's a fucking Star Wars Leatherman.
multi
And with the subtitles on, she says later it's a PIP droid, and PIP is capitalized, so
Yeah.
it stands
personal
for something.
personal
Personal insertion pod.
No.
Speaking of vibro blades, right?
Well, he might help with that too.
What's that function? We don't talk about that function.
But I did appreciate we have the Trade Federation here, and they are no longer racist.
They sound so much better.
They're dressed the same, but they talk like they aren't caricatures from a Dr. Seuss comic.
and their
book
lips
comic.
aren't as flippy flappy.
Yeah,
Like it just looks better. It sounds loads better.
yeah.
I wasn't expecting the voice from the female though. It
I'm just
wasn't-
glad it wasn't a very stereotypical Asian.
I'm just glad
Yeah.
we didn't get episode 1. They're coming at the day, whatever the fuck that lady says.
Yeah.
I've forgotten, even though I watched that movie 3 times this year for some reason.
black out the good parts, the bad parts.
But I do like it is showing there's definitely still the class thing, right? Though, because they're talking about they're sending her and her sidekick here out to repair something. They're something that annoys me in all sci-fi. They're mechanics.
Mechanics.
Because it's like a mechanic, but it sounds spacey.
Yeah.
I don't
I
like that.
actually thought it was gonna be the pneumonians like way of saying it, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's everybody.
Yeah,
Because even when later she's like, "Yeah, I'm a mechanic."
yeah. But he says the grease scrubbers are disposable. Our cargo isn't. It's like, get them out there and get them to fix this shit.
I mean, I guess it is easy. It is cheaper to feed humans than it is to operate and buy droids.
Yeah.
Droids get expensive. Human life is, or life, I guess, in Star Wars is cheaper.
Yeah. So the Jedi get there, and we meet Yord Fandar, who's played by Charlie Barnett, who was also in Russian Doll. He's Natasha Lyonne's counterpart.
Yes, the one that's all. Oh, I'm not going to spoil that for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We already have spoilers for Star Wars on here. We don't need it for every other show.
Yeah, we don't need it for other 5-year-old shows.
He's pretty, and he knows it.
Yeah, he's
character-wise.
I was very annoyed that his lightsaber is orange. I was like, I'm
Yellow.
supposed to.
Yellow.
Oh, I thought it was orange because I was
No.
getting really pissed off.
Oh,
I
yours
was like,
was
I
yellow,
would
wasn't
not.
it?
No,
Or were you
orange.
orange? Okay.
I got what you wanted because I was like, I would not make these fucking decisions.
Yeah.
Was I yellow?
No,
That was
you got
ages ago.
you
I
got
don't remember.
You guys switch. You each
Yeah, you
got
got
what each other
purple.
wanted.
because I wanted purple
Oh, okay.
and you wanted orange and you got purple and I got orange.
That's the only lightsaber.
I want to retake this test. Damn it.
Aside from Carrie Ann Moss, and at the end of this episode, that's the only lightsaber we really see. He pulls it out a lot. He's ready to use that.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Which-
this is why I have concerns with him as a character.
He's cocky.
He may not be a bad guy. He may be, but he is definitely going to do something on accident to fuck things up.
Yes.
He's going to ruin a mission.
Because he is so far into like, no, she's the bad guy. We need to arrest her right now. Like, I'm not going to listen to anything you say.
So that's what did you say yellow was exactly again? It's kind of like purple, but
Yeah, it's now I'm blanking on it, but there's a reason they wanted Rey
They're
to have
lawfully,
one at the end of
lawfully
9.
good.
no, lawfully good is like green and blue.
Yeah,
That's,
yellow
like,
is
super
yellow
good.
is at least yellow used to have like a more of a sign of intelligence and a touch with the Force, but you also got like a little bit of pragmatic, like
Okay.
very much of the way. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few kind of mentality.
Okay.
Because he has first of all, this guy's a fucking turd.
Yeah.
This is why I'm concerned. He's a turd. Whitney touched on it. He takes out his lightsaber all the time. He's fucking steaming his clothes, and his
Right?
robes.
The
But
vanity.
Let's talk about their robes real quick. Very different than the pilgrim look that we get later in Star
Yeah, they
Wars.
still have the brown like over-robe, but all of them are wearing like a white and yellow like formal.
Jedi wanted to look a little bit more celestial back then, a little bit more holy and in touch with.
Well,
the
this
Force.
is when they were more important because by the time we get to even the prequel trilogy, the Jedi Council is there and the Jedi are important, but they're more political figures at that point. They
We-
don't really
we hear-
do
we hear it
anything.
start
They're not
here.
as worshipped. They're not as worshipped in the later in the sagas that we
They
know.
are 100% a political faction.
Yeah.
Later, they didn't mean to be, but it happened.
Yeah, in this case, they're like, and I got this also just from the beginning of Light of the Jedi I did, which is like, they're kind of not a police force per se. I mean, we do see them try to arrest people. in
Keepers
this,
of the
but
peace.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
spread. They have people who are stationed at every like settlement or at least every planet who are there to, keep the peace, keep things in order, make sure things follow the rule of the Galactic Empire.
Well, but
or the
and I
Galactic
think
Republic.
And I
sorry.
think get it right. Especially in the earlier High Republic, it was about just doing what was just and what's right. And we get to we fast forward later. The reason Dooku joined the CIS is because the Jedi would not stop his home planet from getting taken over because they wouldn't align with the Republic.
Okay.
So I mean that was their whole thing. These Jedi now would be like, no, we're gonna go stop it because life is being extinguished. Whereas the Jedi we get in the prequels are like, well, they are an unaligned system.
Well, and you know what? Speaking of the comparison between those Jedi and the Jedi we are more familiar with, we see a little bit of what we've talked about on all of our episodes here. When Jackie comes in to talk to Soul, and even Finestra says something when she's talking to Soul about Osha. They're talking about his attachment, his feeling of his caring about her.
Yeah,
and Jackie
I'm
is
worried
more
that you
concerned.
I'm worried you carry a hollow of your ex-Padawan.
Yeah.
These pastimes dwell on feelings and attachment. And he's like, dude, our past are lessons.
Well,
Yep.
but
if you don't meditate on the past, then how do you prevent
I
it
did
from
like that
happening
cute
again?
little like you Star Wars it up instead of those who do not.
if you don't
think of-
study
if you
history,
don't study
yeah.
study the history, you're doomed to repeat it. Like, no, you got to meditate on it.
But
Meditate.
Finestra seems less concerned about his attachment, even though she is like, "Hey, I didn't know that you cared that much."
She's
But
in my front running.
She's an experienced Jedi at this point.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, if she's in the book that I'm listening to, which is well before this,
I have a quick
then-
question.
Yeah, she's been at it for a while.
Is Venestra the same species as the pilot that wore like the old school pilot gear?
No, that is Harrison Dula is a Twi'lek,
Okay.
and they have the head tendrils.
That's right.
This
she did
is
have
not
the tendrils.
this. I don't recognize this species like right off the bat, so it might be new. It probably isn't. It's probably just one that somebody's picking from very little known shit, which is
Okay.
So according to a quick Google, Vernestra Rowe is a Miriellan female who was born around the year 248 BBY.
okay.
So if this is 132-ish, she's already over 100
Mary
years
Ellen.
old.
I wonder, is that what Barasafi is as well?
I don't know. I gave you the
Who's
quick Google.
Barasafi?
She is from the Clone Wars cartoon, and then later became in the. She's the one that framed Ahsoka Tano, and that's Ahsoka Tano left the Jedi Order because of that.
By the way, I'll just mention while you're looking that up, the character that Whitney is talking about from Ahsoka
Yes.
is played by Mary Elizabeth
Yes.
Winstead, who is my future wife. She doesn't know. Whitney doesn't know that. Neither does,
No, I
does
do.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Is
but
Ewan McGregor aware of this?
I don't care.
Are they together?
Yeah,
What?
Ewan McGregor.
You know what? That is the fucking most beautiful couple I've ever heard. I didn't know that until this moment, and I'm really jealous.
That
of
is-
both
So
of
Mary Ellen is what Barasafi is, and we've seen her master Luminari. So this is the third we've seen of Mary Ellen.
I'll let you have Mary Elizabeth if I get a swing with Ewan.
Okay,
Can
we're
we
just
just-
we're trading spouses.
Wife
As long
swap.
as you know, every time you swing, he's gonna go.
I'm okay with that. They invented earbuds.
Ignite! But anyway, so Yord is a Jedi Master. He passed his test. He trained with Osha, which we learn here. I guess you go straight to Master, right? It's not like there's not Padawan and then something else.
No,
right?
he said
You're
he's a
master
knight.
once you. Oh, nice.
Yord- Yord is a knight.
He's
Okay.
a Jedi Knight. But the one I don't know. They don't say Grand Master, but
Because they're not the KKK.
well, well, but Yoda is the Grand Master.
He's a Grand Dragon.
It's
He's
not
the-
Grand Wizard.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Grand Dragon. He's not
There's
the Grand
also
Moff
wizards
either.
in the KKK.
Yeah,
But
I know.
Venestra,
Sorry.
Venestra is the only person that we see Soul call a master. Like he
Okay.
calls her Master Venestra.
Well,
so
then people call him Master Soul, and then
Yeah.
later on we hear Master Torben. But these are all the people
Right.
who were involved.
And
These are the
Master
older-
Indara.
like you can be master and still be equal with people, but I think there's. I mean, she's.
So you're going Youngling, Padawan, Knight, and then Master.
Yeah.
Which would be like on the council or like in Soul's case.
So
he's-
it's like
he's
a
the teacher.
surname?
No,
It's ranks.
It's their
It's
rank.
ranks.
Oh,
Like
okay.
general, whatever.
Priest, bishop, fucking pope, all that shit.
Okay.
And this is when we find out.
Wait,
that,
we're talking
did you
about
just say
fictitious
priest?
shit.
Wait, hold on. You just went priest, bishop, pope.
Yeah.
Father, what
There are
about
people
Cardinal?
in between there.
No, but that's. I'm trying to give you just. All right, you are a molested child, then you become deacon, then you become priest.
So this is when we find out that her family died in a fire. Her mom's.
Yep.
Her mother's and her sister.
Trigger all the fucking white dudes. Just like they're shoving it down my throat that people are allowed to have moms. Well, maybe fucking people that grew up having moms or dads are pissed that you are sitting there shoving your nuclear family down their throat.
Seriously.
Yeah,
But
or other things.
The line is your mother's and your sister.
Yeah.
Like plural mothers, singular sister. And I
the-
loved it.
The planet she's from is called Brandok, which just kind of made me laugh because it just sounds like a name,
yeah.
like
And-
not a name of a planet. Like I feel like I know someone named Brandok.
Hey, Brandok. Brandok's coming over. He brought some spatchka.
When he said that, when he was like your mother's and your sister, I looked at I didn't say anything, but in my head I was like, oh, it's her twin. Like
Oh, okay.
I was like, her twin is doing
I
everything
still
else.
maintain and I'll get ahead, but there are things that made me think that it was somehow I'm going
A
to use
split?
weird terminology, a fucking like forced possession, like part of her sister's dark soul is in
Oh.
her, so she is doing these things.
Well, like the baby ghosts.
Oh, kind of
They're
like
not babies, but
What?
when they're kids, is that what you're talking about? Like because they have their ghosts, their fucking ghosts hang out and talk to each other.
who's got a ghost?
You're talking
Osha and May when they like well, that's how Osha knows May is
Oh,
alive.
her-
She sees like the
Oh,
baby version
yeah.
of her in her dreams.
I was thinking though that was going to be in her mind, where she's like, "I am alive." Not going to tell her it's inside of you though.
Okay, I can see
thought it was going to be one body
okay,
and
I
two
can see
people
that.
in it, but it's not. We very clearly get two separate things.
And then we have one of my favorite new droids I've never seen before, Iron Man.
The warden.
The warden. We've seen something like it.
Yeah,
No,
but it
this
wasn't
is
painted
Iron Man.
yellow and red.
Yeah,
In all the right places.
I'm starving. Where's the scotch? Beep, boop, beep. That's just you in there, isn't it, Robert Downey Jr.?
No.
It depends. If I say yes, do I get the scotch? Asking for a friend.
So Yord is there to confront Osha. He's like, hey, somebody killed Indara. Looked an awful lot like you.
And then his
bartender
weird
comes in.
Padawan does it.
He's got this Padawan whose name I didn't catch.
He didn't
She
say
looks like
it.
a bat person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, she's just like the other Padawan. They're treated much like a bass player in that thing you do.
Yeah.
Like they're just called Padawan. Like you have to earn your name almost.
Yeah.
They every now and then say Jackie, but usually it's like, hey,
You know
good
what?
job, Padawan. Hey, Padawan, with me. All right, to
You know
this
what?
ship.
Later
Padawan.
on, we get some Padawans who get names and they just ruin the universe.
Yeah.
Dude,
So maybe we should just go with calling them Padawan.
Just, you know what?
Break
Humble
them down a little bit.
Humble them.
that's the other thing I don't like about Yord, is he doesn't say the name. He's just so stuck on his
He's
shit.
very formal.
And he
Because he
doesn't
was
call
treated that way.
Jackie. He calls her Padawan.
He was treated that way.
Well, no, Jackie's not a Padawan anymore.
Yes, she is.
Is
He
she?
still calls her Padawan.
Oh, that's right.
She gets called Padawan.
It's not
by
his
a lot of people.
Padawan.
No.
That's where I got confused because I asked her. I was like, wait, is that the girl he was with earlier? And she's like, no,
No,
that
that's
was a Batgirl.
Soul's Padawan.
I don't think it is.
I think she's just a Padawan.
Yep.
Oh, because this is her first mission.
And I love how she keeps permission to speak freely. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't have to keep asking.
And at this point, there are
I
a
do
lot.
like her a lot.
yeah.
Well, at this point, there are a lot more Jedi. So just having this Padawan go on this mission with these people is not as weird as like later on when we've watched the movies we've seen,
Yeah.
where it's like, no, that's your Padawan and that's your master, and you guys stick together.
This could easily be like, she needs field experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And her master's not going out on a mission for a while, so you're gonna go with
even
her.
in the Galactic Republic that we see, like the decline of the Republic at the beginning of the prequels, there's not that many Jedi.
And most of them got killed in episode 2 with the worst fucking military maneuver ever. All right, we got the element of surprise. Let's drop in the pit and have them surround us. Fucking idiots.
Ugh.
I will say, you speaking of that reminds me of us talking about the trailer for this, and I'm so excited for whenever it comes later and everybody's got those fucking lightsabers lit up and we see some shit going down.
Yeah. That's a beef I have with these first 2 episodes. It's a lot of fluff.
I think this is
see-
how it's always been with all these shows.
Oh,
That's
I
how
know,
it is with
I
a lot
know.
of. I mean, that's how it was with the Mandalorian. That's how it was with.
I don't know, dude. Mando had me hooked right away.
Well, yeah, but it's because it's different. Like it's the universe it had to build was this guy's life
Mhm.
versus this is like here's what's going on in the entire galaxy right now.
I understand, and I definitely understand that there's only one person that could be an adversary with a lightsaber, and we're
Yeah.
saving that. So she's got her blades, and that's going to be enough for right now.
We haven't seen
Although
it
she
yet.
is trying so hard to get a blade.
Or to
she's
get a
fight-
lightsaber.
Yeah, okay, yeah, when she's fighting Carrie Ann Moss, she's like 2-3 times swiping for that lightsaber.
Yeah. We haven't seen it yet. I saw it in a trailer, a quick clip, and then I saw it when I looked up Vernestra Rowe, but I believe Vernestra Rowe is the one with the lightsaber whip, which we've discussed before.
One of the stupid designs.
But I'm
What's
I'm
wrong with
excited
the
to see it in
lightsaber whip?
action.
It's just so dangerous.
It is dangerous.
That's just wild and inaccurate.
I'm still excited to see it in action.
Also, how is a whip any form of defense? Like a lightsaber is supposed to be.
Ask
for-
Indiana
Ask
Jones.
Indiana Jones.
What the fuck is he defending?
Ask Catwoman.
What the fuck is she defending?
Her vagina.
You are all right. That's the only
Indiana
point you guys
Jones
have made.
is defending himself against Nazis.
No, he's attacking
Nazis,
Nazis.
dude.
He's attacking Nazis. I just mean, like, what is she gonna do? Whip blaster bolts out of the air?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
It's a laser whip. It's the same as putting your fucking blade in front of it. You just go chicka.
Yeah, except now I'm gonna crack this one up here, and while this one's coming, I gotta go all the way back. And
No,
look at this
she
action.
doesn't have to
left,
do that.
Right, left, right.
It's a
left,
laser.
right.
It doesn't follow normal physics.
It's so
She uses
stupid.
the force. Okay,
I'm happy
I'm
she-
gonna pull a Jack from every other episode of this. Let me explain this to you real quick. The force, dude.
The Force. Yeah, I get it. I'm just
Is
saying.
this called Jacksplaining?
It's what it is with Star Wars.
Jack's explaining is whenever somebody asks a question, you just say the force, dude, and walk away.
We're watching a fucking movie or a show about the Force. It's all explainable.
But so we go to Coruscant. There's some youngling training, which we were completely wrong about all this. Because when we
Yeah.
watched the trailer, they showed this scene with the younglings, and we were like, "Oh, is this like a flashback?" And these are those characters growing up.
That's
I
what I
thought
thought.
this was going to be Stenberg.
Yeah.
As a young girl, the one
'Cause
that's
she's
like,
the
I
one
see
talking
fire.
about I see fire.
Same.
But
Yeah.
so what that is, I think, is like we know that in the prequels, their judgment is clouded, their vision to the Force is clouded, mostly by Sheev Palpatine.
Okay.
They're no one's doing that yet. So they're able like to kind of view the Force in a much more broad spectrum. So she's like, I see fire, because this fire, whatever it is, however it started, is very important to both of these characters, May and Osha.
Right.
So it's something that is, the Force is reacting to it kind of, and they're able to sense that, is what I think.
Okay.
Do you like bad movies?
Are you worse people?
Are you an unqualified asshole?
Have we got a podcast for you?
Bad Movies, Worst People. You can find us anywhere you find podcasts. And generally what we do is we sit around talking shit, drinking beer, enjoying bad movies, and...
Better than talking beer and drinking shit.
I
No,
mean...
that's obvious. You want to hear us do some bad impersonations? You want to hear us
Or
try to
good
be funny?
impersonations.
As the guy that does impersonations, they're bad.
Hey, come on, guys. We're just doing an
Oh,
impersonation
Marky
here.
Mark is back.
Come on my podcast. What's it like being a podcaster, Derrick?
What's it like talking on the internet? I
Oh,
don't know.
jeez, man. You reach so many people that way.
I would know if I hadn't been killed by trees already.
Oh, no. It's happening.
But we'll do anything ranging from 70s and 80s movies all the way to brand new shit. We did a whole month about Michael Bay because we hate ourselves.
We did a whole month about Rambo.
Oh, boy. We won't do a month about Chuck Norris.
No.
Fuck Norris.
Chuck, no.
Go to badmoviesworstpeople.com. Find us anywhere you get podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, whatever.
Everything.
Yeah, you can find us anywhere. Badmoviesworstpeople.com. Come check us out. You're going to laugh.
Yep. You want to hear a bad Gary Busey? We got him. That's the best podcast I've ever heard, fellas. And I ain't lying through my giant teeth.
So we have the Youngling training. We meet Master Soul, who is played by Lee Jung-jae, who most Americans will know from Squid Game.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I never saw it.
Oh, you never watched it? Dude, it's
It was
fucking
awesome.
awesome.
Seems like it'd be all right.
You know what's annoying? They were talking about they're doing a second season or whatever, but then I also saw like so-and-so's doing an American remake. And I'm like, why would you remake a show that all of America already watched?
Yeah.
Like if you're doing an American remake of something obscure Asian show, which has happened a lot, or movie, I mean,
Like
like,
when they remade The
Old
Office.
Boy is not obscure.
Right, but you should also you shouldn't have touched Old Boy.
Well, you shouldn't have, because even Spike Lee didn't do that right. But I just mean, like, look, Old Boy's not obscure to people like me, but to the normal movie-going audience, it would be. So they remade Old Boy for an American audience. It sucked, but that's not the point.
Right.
Don't remake a show that literally everybody already watched.
Yeah, it's huge in America.
And we also meet Vernestra Rowe, played by Rebecca Henderson, who, as I mentioned, was also in Russian Doll.
She's a shellless turtle.
Yes.
She's a shellless
Shellless
turtle.
A
turtle.
shellless turtle.
Oh, the character. I thought
Yeah.
you meant the actress. I was like,
No,
that's
no,
rude.
but she looks like she is turtly enough for the Turtle Club.
Am I not turtle enough for the turtle club?
He's immediately like, she's like, hey, so your old Padawan. What was she, a Padawan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your
Yeah, 'cause she
Padawan.
never
They
did.
mention
Completed.
training, but they never say anything about her being a Padawan.
And this
so-
is where I don't like this character, Venestra, because she slides in and she's like, dude, if people find out that a Jedi was murdered by an ex-Jedi, it's gonna like our political enemies could use it against us. So already, like, that's your biggest concern. Not, hey, let's get this Force user out of here.
Well, she's
Let's-
like 112 years old. She's got other things to worry about.
Politics shouldn't be in the church.
Yeah.
You can tell that to George Lucas.
I told everybody. I tell it to everybody that listens.
But he's basically like, nah, you're wrong. It can't be her. Like,
I
we'll
feel it.
figure it out.
Yep.
I feel it's not her.
And we have got back to real quick the prison ship that OSHA's on.
Oh
And
yeah,
I do
there's
like there's like this fucking
cyborg.
well, no, that parasite thing
Oh,
that they like
yeah.
slap on that crazy dude's mouth.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
that's some fucked up shit.
just a mouth hugger. It's not
Yeah.
even like a full face hug.
Yeah, it's a mouth hugger, but it gives you pleasant dreams.
Well, they say that. They could have been fucking with him too, because she's like, is he all right? He's like, oh no, does weird things to your brain. It could have been a bad thing to your brain. I don't know.
It keeps them complacent and knock the fuck out.
Yeah.
But these criminals, there's only people on this ship are criminals and droids.
Uh-huh.
So these criminals are like, we're getting the fuck out of here. You want to come with us? And she's like, no, I have faith in Jedi. And they're like, well, good luck with that.
Jedi killer.
And then this weird fucking pig head robot thing
Uh-huh.
in the other cell like shorts out the dudes flying the ship, fucks everything up. and they basically just get out of there. I do like the guy that has the guy you were doing the British accent for.
Yeah, tentacle head.
Yeah, he has that fucking slimy, weird, gross tentacle that
Yeah.
comes off his head and chokes out Iron Man there.
My only thing is, like, wouldn't these
Decapitates.
droids all have like a catalog of like, all right, well, we got to put a fucking hand manacle on this guy's head, and this guy over here that's got the Lobot fucking
Unplug him.
implant, like we got to put a lead helmet on him.
Oh wait, so are we just doing X-Men now?
Yeah,
So we put that guy in a plastic prison cell.
yeah, sure. You would need to do that though. Like otherwise you put in one of these aliens. It's like, well, that guy can actually
Otherwise-
slip through all the bars
Put
You get
Nightcrawler in the
everything that
prison
just
cell with
happened.
no windows.
if you can't see where he's going.
Exactly. Go ahead. Sorry.
I said you get exactly what happens when you don't do that.
Yeah, you didn't do your research.
Well, that's why they don't put any humans on the ship. They're like, well, you know what? If they get out, no one's dying.
I guess you're just not a high priority. Like, I don't fucking care if these guys die escaping.
Yeah.
They must find him pretty quick, though.
Look,
Well, because
I've
it's
seen
a
Con
pod
Air.
and it just lands,
Okay,
right?
that's how we.
This is very much like Con
This
Air,
is just like Con Air.
except for the droids and that are human.
Put the droid back.
Define
in the
irony.
box.
But she does, like, they all break out and they leave her, and there's one escape pod left, and she feels bad and goes back to save the dude with the fucking mouth fucker on it. And she,
It's a mouth hugger. Well, it could be fucking.
It is fucking
We
his
don't. We
mouth.
don't know what's happening.
but she electrocutes the thing and comes off him, and this guy's just like, thanks, bitch, peace out.
He does like a.
He's very clear, as soon as that thing is off his head, you should have left that on there.
Yeah.
They're like, this is for the extra violent criminals. She takes it off, and he's just like,
Wow.
But it's how we know. It's like, well, she didn't do it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she's for good.
a decent human.
She's
A
decent.
decent
human.
whatever she is.
I mean, would you have-
humanoid?
Yeah.
Would you have taken the parasite off?
I
Would you have taken the parasite
wouldn't
off?
have let the Jedi
I would
take
have slapped
me
it on
alive.
me and just had a taste.
I wouldn't let the Jedi take me alive.
I'm like, dude, if I'm going out mouth fucked and high.
What if it actually like fucks your mouth? Like, what if it actually has an appendage that?
But if you're like high and you don't feel it,
Yeah,
it
but if
doesn't
it's
matter.
drugging me first,
well,
No,
it has to go
get
in
down
to
there
drug you.
but then I'm having memories of it being popsicles,
Okay, maybe.
and all I gotta do is get my throat real hot, and those popsicles.
What happened while you
melt.
were in prison? They force fed me hot dogs.
They closed my eyes and gave me hot dogs, dude. I think they were like cheddar filled or
I
something.
wasn't allowed to chew any of them though. I just had to swallow everything.
Yeah, every now and then it would just burst with some hot cheddar.
What?
That made you gag?
Think of it as hot cheddar. I don't know why that made me throw up.
Your wife?
like on a beef and cheddar.
Yeah, I know. Oh, like when we get that Uber brat from the brat house.
Exactly.
It just squirts
Just
everywhere.
goops down your throat.
Oh, goobs.
So we get back to whatever planet, Coruscant. That's where
Uh-huh.
the Jedi, the main Jedi thing is, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's when we meet Jackie Lon.
It's
who's
Vatican
played by
City,
Daphne
dude.
Keane. It is. Daphne Keane, who we mentioned during our preview episode.
She's
of this,
X-23.
X-23 from Logan, all grown up, mostly. I mean, she didn't. Get
I mean,
much
I don't
taller.
think. I don't think she looks. I mean, of course, she's wearing makeup and prosthetics. I'm like, that is still the little tiny girl that was X-23. Like, she didn't age up
Jackie?
much. Yeah.
That's the thing. That
Really?
was
Yeah.
7 years ago. I was like, she grew up. She's an adult now, but she didn't really grow up.
Yeah.
How old
She's
was
still
she
very
in
short.
Logan?
I'm not sure, but that was like
20?
2017.
If I had Logan, I
All-
don't.
nobody in this show except for Finestra, Soul, and Indara is like over 23.
Yeah. They got a young
maybe
cast.
26.
Do you know why? You can have longevity.
There you go.
No, because something woke Star Wars something.
Disney.
Man, you know what? You think it's just Star Wars fans? Did you watch that Rings of Power show?
Oh, God,
People
those
lost
people
it
were
at
the
Black
worst.
Elves and Black Hobbits, dude.
Well, he said they were fair skinned. Yeah, well, I
Sure.
said I don't give a shit. I'm
Yeah.
watching a good show.
Yeah, we're also talking about a guy that wrote that book in 1913 in England. He didn't see a
And I
black
mean, whether
person.
or not you think it's a good show, that's not what's making it bad.
Right.
If you're watching Rings of Power or this or anything and going, well, this could be good, but there's all these people with colored skin and all
It's
these
science
ladies with
fiction.
boobs, like, then you're watching it wrong.
Yeah.
Judge it based on the merits of the story, which is what a lot of these Star Wars and Rings of Powers fans pretend they were doing. They were like, well, it's bad writing. And I'm like, I saw a few instances of bad writing on
The
like,
whole
Rings of
thing,
Power and stuff.
the whole fucking thing's not bad, right?
I was mostly engaged in that.
I liked it.
New season coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Much excite.
Disney needs to take point from. I never thought I'd say this. Kathleen Kennedy needs to take point from Jeff Bezos. So two of the worst people in our world need to get together and discuss this because
Saddam Hussein could have learned something from Stalin.
Ooh.
Well, and I know Jeff Bezos isn't the one producing Amazon shows. He doesn't have anything to do with anything other than building a giant penis ship. But like, all those people complained, and Amazon went, well, people watched it, so I'm putting out another one.
Smart.
Yeah.
It's smart.
Disney has already like canceled stuff before it even got started.
Cowboy Bebop.
Because they're like,
that was Netflix.
that was Netflix,
That
but
pissed me
Disney's
off.
done the same shit where they're like, well, people complain, so we're gonna either change it or cancel it, and it's like just don't.
Yeah, make movie. I want to see the directors and everybody's interpretation. I want to see your story.
You can't please everybody.
No,
So please the mass.
I might be able to.
But basically,
I think I could do it.
Basically, Sol, Jackie, and Yord form like a search and rescue team to go find Osha. That's kind of the gist of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do like that she straps herself in because the plane's going down.
What did they have strapped in the seat? She had to remove something.
Just some cargo. It looked like blueprints that some bike messenger's riding through New York on a speeder. He's going through Coruscant in his speeder bike. I got to get these plans to the Emperor. But
Speeding
I like
around fucking Bruce Willis's taxi and shit.
But she's in this like little cargo strap thing, and the plane crashes pretty delicately, I think.
It does, actually.
Jordan them get there. Jordan the boys get there, and he's like, well, nobody could have survived this.
I'm like,
What?
you're standing in a
It's
pretty
not
solid structure.
that bad.
No, it's not.
And it's fucking Jackie who's like, well, fucking somebody's been here, dude.
Yep.
And fucking Sol. I don't know if it's a
He's
force
like, I feel her.
thing.
Yeah. He didn't say that, but he has that look.
Yes.
Of like,
There
I know
are
I
some
feel-
Jedi that can touch objects. I forget the exact name, but you can touch objects and tell who's touched it and where it's been, kind of thing. And I don't think this is that. I think this is a personal
Yeah.
Padawan
Connection.
master
Well, because
connection. Like
literally right before they showed up, Osha had like her first vision of like shadowy figure who turns out to be like her sister, but as a child.
terrifying, dude. Like when she's like, you killed her, and her eyes turn black. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill them all.
Yeah.
was
And
like,
it was
"Oh."
literally like that happened. Like she followed that ghost out of the fucking ship moments before they arrived. So I feel like he got there and he's like, I can feel Osha. I can also feel May.
She actually didn't leave the ship, though, when she was following May. She was
Oh,
still
yeah, she
in
gets
the
up
ship.
that
leaves
true.
right after. That's right. It's
Yeah,
all a
we see her go
hallucination.
places, but all of a sudden, right back on the
Yep,
ship. So.
because the Jedi live in the dream world.
yeah.
But she left. Like what I meant was like she left right after all that stuff.
Yes.
And he's like, I think he's like, I can feel. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
I
and
can still
feel
smell
it.
her.
And again, back to what I said, that they aren't as blinded.
Correct.
So, like, yeah, she went this way. Every idiot with the Force can see that.
Yeah, Yord, you fucking idiot.
God, why is he so douchey?
Because he might be the bad guy.
You think?
I mean, he
I
has
said might.
he has either a bad guy or like
The fool. He's
like
gonna fuck
Gen Z
something up.
Gambit haircut.
There's
Yeah.
there's gonna be a point if he's not the bad guy, and I don't 100% think he is.
He's either the bad guy or the fool.
Or he's gonna like, hey, if we all just stay here and fight together, we'll take out the bad guy. And he's gonna do this one of like, well, I'll just go around the back by myself and get the glory and die and let an escape, like something like that.
Okay,
Is
yeah.
what's
we
gonna
do see him
happen.
kind of do something like that
In the
coming up
next
second
episode, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to get to that.
But I do like right before they land. I want to go back real quick because it's like a 4-minute turn. Because Sol is like, no, May is 100% definitely dead.
Yep.
And then after they get down there, he's like, May might be alive.
Well, because she says it. She's
Yeah.
like, May's alive. He's like, I believe
Yeah,
you.
I believe you.
I believe.
No,
I think
you're
it's more
right.
of a,
He
I
put the
believe
inflection
you.
on it. He does say, I believe you.
Yeah,
But
I don't
that's-
know.
She tried to get away from them in this little cave, and he saved her from falling. And
Yep.
so now she's with them, too.
And he's got all his faith in her.
Oh yeah,
He's like, no, George, shut the fuck up.
yeah.
Put the-
Yours wants to
put that
restrain
saber
her.
Well, he
in
wants
your
to
asshole.
follow the rule of the law. Like, I know that he's annoying and that it's whatever, but, like, he is following the rule of the law.
Sure.
He's also a brand new knight.
And so he does.
So he just became...
You know what I have to say to him? You're so vain.
Well, he is. 'cause
Probably
we
think
talked
that
about the
Star
robes.
Wars is about you.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
kind of.
It might be.
It's not about him.
He's a side character at best.
And then we get to the end of the thing where May goes to this rocky beach, and there's a shadowy black figure off in the distance.
distorted voice like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
Okay.
very, very Darth Vader-esque.
I have a question for you about this.
Okay.
Or
Is
more
this
Kylo Ren.
Is this Palpatine's master?
Could be. I mean, the God,
Well, what did you call
Darth
him?
Plagueis.
Darth
Yeah.
Plagueis. When this ended, so we'll go through this real
don't think
quick.
it's tall
and then
enough.
We'll go through this real quick, and then we'll talk about that. Basically, he has a little speech that's something along the lines of, I wrote a couple of the lines down, but it's like, basically the Jedi live in a dream that they believe that everyone shares, and you can't use weapons against them, which she did, but hey, whatever. An Acolyte kills without a weapon. An Acolyte kills a dream. Red lightsaber. Cut to credits.
What I think he's saying, or they, because it could easily be a girl, and that's why they're distorting the voice. They are saying you can kill a Jedi, but you can't kill the Jedi with a weapon.
Yeah.
You know, like you could, and yes, it is being a little bit literal in the sense of like they don't fear steel or lasers or sabers, but it also is saying like, dude, like, look, you kill a Jedi and another one's gonna rise. You know,
You kill one Jedi, two more take its place.
It's not Hydra, guy.
Are you sure?
Although I'd love to see what's his name that played Red Skull, Hugo Weaving, as a Jedi or a Sith.
He'd
Good
be a Sith.
God, you would think he was the whole time if he wasn't.
Look,
1,000%.
even in Lord of the Rings, like he was a hard quotes good guy. Those elves were not that good.
What are you up
from the
to?
Are you
perspective
talking
of
about
like
The elves were
Mr.
good for the elves.
Anderson?
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Anderson. It's the stench.
Speaking of Carrie Ann Moss,
Yeah. But so
I was trying to think of a way to work that in earlier when you were doing you were supposed to save the Jedi or whatever. I was trying to think of a way to work in like something about like the virus, but I couldn't think of it quick enough.
I do think though that it's this thing of like we got to destroy the Jedi. Long con. We can't just go and fucking attack them. What are you gonna do? Attack and kill Yoda?
Well,
sure.
and
Somebody
right.
else takes over Grand Master.
we
We need
learn-
to kill. It's exactly why May was picked, because May had something happen from the Jedi, and we're gonna bring it all to light. We're gonna destroy them by having people lose faith in them, kind of thing.
Oh,
And
okay.
we learned in the second episode that she's particularly focusing on 4 Jedi.
Yes.
But I don't think that's this guy doesn't give a shit about her plan. He's like, yeah, kill those 4. That's great because that'll help my overall plan.
That's why there's
Now whether or not he's a Sith, as Whitney said earlier, we don't know. He has a red lightsaber.
And he's in black cloaks.
He's obviously dark side aligned.
yes, it's a Dark Force user. Does not mean Sith.
Yeah.
All Sith are
Okay.
Dark Force users. Not all Dark Force users are Sith.
Who was the bald chick you were telling me about? Dark Force assassin.
Sinead O'Connor. Asajj Ventress.
I'm sorry, what?
Sinead O'Connor.
No.
Asajj Ventress.
Asajj Ventress?
Uh-huh.
Massage mistress.
Okay.
Massage.
Misogynistic Vistance. Got it.
Asajj Ventress was a Clone Wars cartoon character that did books and other things after that I really fucking loved. She's a female, what do you call it? Night Sister. So same race as Darth Maul. No horns.
Also, Night Sisters, you'll remember from Ahsoka.
Yes, I do remember the Night Sisters from Ahsoka.
Morgan Elsbeth.
Yes, who ends up going to the other universe or the other galaxy.
Yeah.
It's not a multiverse yet.
Yeah. It's not yet, dude. They do have a way of doing that if they want.
Space whales, dude.
There's also this fucking I forget what it's called. Well, we see a bit of it where Anakin and Ahsoka fight.
Yeah, but I don't
That's-
think that's meant to be like a multiverse so much as like that's kind of like a plane beyond, kind of like
Ahsoka gets saved in Star Wars Rebels because Ezra Bridger goes on this, I fucking forget the goddamn name. It's this like like the Bridge of Time kind
but
of bullshit.
I think of it, and I don't know because I didn't watch Clone Wars, but when I watched Ahsoka, I thought of it as
Astral
Doctor
plane?
Strange,
Like the astral
when he
plane.
has like the mirror universe and stuff,
Yeah.
which isn't a real universe. It's just kind of like it's an outside thing. It's like a pocket universe that connects the two. So it's not-
Palpatine has been trying to get to this place forever because he knows its power. Like literally, Darth Vader and Ahsoka are sealed in a temple dueling, and we know that she's gonna die. And then cut to a season later in Rebels, Ezra goes to the World Beyond Worlds, motherfucker. It's called the World Beyond Worlds. Goes there and hears a voice and pulls Ahsoka out of that.
Okay.
And at one point, he's like, "Well, I can just go back and save Kanan and Jarrus, my old master." And Ahsoka's like, "No, you can't, because if you save him, everybody that he saved while dying is going to be dead." Like, there's all these like probability things that could happen. So a worry I've always had is they could use the World Beyond Worlds to retcon shit and be like, "Well, episode 7, 8, 9 didn't happen."
Oh,
I don't want that to happen.
I don't want that to happen, even though 9 is trash.
It's trash, but it happened.
And like we'll get to 7 and 8 in our opinions on those, but everybody can agree that 9 is
Yeah,
trash.
9 is just spoilers for everything on episode 9. It sucked.
But
is that the?
Oh, go ahead.
I don't remember which one that was.
It's the one where Palpatine
somehow
comes back. It's the fucking very end where it's like, what's your name? Ray. Ray what? Skywalker. Why?
You won't remember that movie at all. It's the one where they had to find a wayfinder to find a wayfinder to find a wayfinder. It. You won't remember it. We saw it once in theaters and no one liked it.
Yeah,
It's the only Star Wars movie that I cannot finish in one watching.
it did have a dope fight scene between Rey and Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren and Rey, yeah, absolutely. Like it's still a Star Wars movie, but it's the worst one that's available.
There are points that are enjoyable to watch.
Yes.
but it doesn't make the other 2 hours.
And it
20
also
minutes worth.
shows that Kai. That's the one. That's the one that shows that that he is not as evil as he thinks he is.
Yeah, I just like to stop at episode 8.
I
Right.
can fast forward episode
So
9.
we're stopping this episode though now, right?
But this episode is over. That's it for episode 1 of The Acolyte, Lost Found.
You can't say lost and found because one of them is lost and one of them is found.
Exactly.
Twins.
That's why
dude.
it's
twins. dude.
lost/found.
Tune in mere moments for episode 2. We're going to thank Magilla Gorilla for providing our opening and closing music.
We're gonna thank Whitney for being our guest.
Yes.
I am the guest.
And I'll give you the rest of the spiel at the end of episode 2 because these are both coming out together.
Ow!
I've been Derrick.
You're not next. I'm next. I'm Jack.
You're right.
My
it again.
fucking podcast.
And I'm Whitney.